into the C's. One off. Oxy Music by Alex Cameron. This is one of the greatest albums. This is perfect. This is a perfect record. You have to hear this guy. He's witty. He's funny. Best Life, Sarah Joe, Hold the Line, K-Hole, Dead Eyes. Check it out. Amazing, amazing record. Not much in the way of packaging, but it's not bad. This one's a funny one. Richard Cheese and Lounge Against the Machine. Doing, a lounge act parodies of Puddle of Mud, The White Stripes, Sir Mix-a-Lot, Disturbed, Linkin Park, Van Halen, Weezer, Guns N' Roses, System of a Down, The Toys, White Zombie, Britney Spears, Mystical. Really good. Richard Cheese. Look it up. He's really funny. That's Toxicity. Of course, that foul obscenity is beside Stephen Curtis Chapman. Christian rock can be pretty bad. And Stephen Curtis Chapman, he really will change your mind and make you realize that there are good Christian rock artists out there. And Speechless is darn good. Fingerprints of God, whatever, The Next 5 Minutes, Great Expectations. Really great Christian rock right there. That is a good one to have in your collection. I get knocked down, but I get up again. You're never going to keep me down. You've heard that before. But what you haven't heard, possibly if you've only heard that song, Tub Thumping, this is a really weird band. This is a really weird album. And they are extremely out there. They are anarchistic, wild people. And they have a really storied body of work. And even if you don't, I don't really like this record a lot. But anything from 97 is pretty nostalgic. And they're definitely a great band. And this was my introduction to them. So I really like that a lot. Next up is my one and only Clash CD. This has 40 songs by The Clash. And this is great. I have some memories. I have some bad memories. This was 2003. They had a DVD to go along with this. And someone that I was close to was going through chemotherapy. And she was kind of seeing things in the DVD that weren't there. But man, really bonded over the music on this record with my parents, and really, really great. Just everything you could want from The Clash, and I absolutely love the artwork there. Oh my gosh, there's a dedication. This came out on, when Joe Strummer died. This is when this came out. So, whilst we were compiling this album, we suffered the tragic and untimely loss of our friend and collaborator, Joe Strummer. We would like to dedicate this album to his memory. And I definitely do that every time I listen to it. Now we've got a big chunk of an artist right here. We're going to talk about him. So, Cold. I originally, I heard the song Bleed, and oh my gosh, I had to go back and I tracked this thing down. Where, if so, you know Cold, like Bleed and Stupid Girl, were their big songs. Well, the lead singer looks like me. Check this out. There's Scooter Ward with hair. Unbelievable. This record is great. It's a little bit rough in spots, but I love it. Produced. Special thanks to Fred Durst for everything. Fred Durst discovered Cold, and they're like Stained, but better. So this one is really great. This one is perfect. This one is so sad that it is beyond perfect. I gotta recommend Remedy, Suffocate, Cure My Tragedy, Sad Happy, Rain Song. The Day That Seattle Died is a very horrific song about Kurt Cobain and Lane Staley. And Kill the Music Industry is the only reason that there's a parental advisory sticker on here. But this is one of my favorite albums ever. Highly suggest it. You have to hear that. It's incredible. This one is called A Different Kind of Pain, and it is incredible too. There's 11 songs on here. Don't like the album cover, but Cold, A Different Kind of Pain. This next one had kind of a mixed reaction. They took a long hiatus before this one, but this one has some really great stuff like Welcome to My World, American Dream. Really, really great stuff. A lot of these were written for soundtracks for comic book heroes. Their most recent album is The Things We Can't Stop, and I would suggest Shine, Run, Better Human, Without You. I'd say Run and Without You are great. Quiet Now, and the rest are really good too. They've got a different lineup now, and their newer guitar player is writing some stuff for them, and they're kind of changing the band a little bit. Very exciting, but Cold. I would suggest any of their records. I'd say maybe Superfiction would be the hardest to get into, but it's great. The newer one could be a little bit tricky to get into. Year of the Spider, 13 Ways to Bleed on Stage, and Self-Titled. Self-Titled is their heavy one. They're kind of seem like a heavy metal band that are kind of softer, like Stained, but like I said, better than Stained. Way better. This is my Counting Crows collection. I'm a pretty big fan of the band. I've listened to all of their albums, but I don't really need all of them on CD. And this is just a gorgeous greatest hits album. Films about ghosts. The best of Counting Crows. A Long December, one of the saddest songs. Rain King, Mr. Jones, American Girls, Big Yellow Taxi. Those are the best songs on here. Great band. Still doing some stuff. They're doing some food-related albums. I think I did get rid of... Oh! This. This is one of the most important records in my collection. Sheryl Crow, Self-Titled from 1996. Back in 1996, I was in 6th grade. My years lined up with the year, get it? My 6th grade English teacher let us listen to the pop radio station in class, and I heard Every Day is a Winding Road. And then I heard If It Makes You Happy around the same time. But Every Day is a Winding Road blew my mind. I was like, what is that? I had never really paid attention to alternative rock or punk rock as a kid. But when I heard this at 10 or 11, I had to get this. So I saved up money. My mom took me to the store. I remember running into a friend of the family and them saying, oh, if it ain't Leonard Skinner, I don't know who it is. But wow, this Sheryl Crow's Self-Titled has inspired many of artists. A lot of people do covers of these songs, and like Redemption Day, Ordinary Morning. Wow, this is incredible. I was very... I have not been blown away by another Sheryl Crow record after this one, but this one, it changed my life. It got me into punk rock and heavy metal. So, Sheryl Crow, way to go. Next up, we got one of the best hip-hop albums of all time. One of the best album covers of all time, in my opinion. D12 World from 2004. I've listened to D12's other music, and it doesn't stack up to this. This is the best rapping Eminem has done, the best rapping Bizarre has done. These guys are just insane. I'll see if I can show this. There's nothing really to show. But beautiful, beautiful album. I suggest How Come, Keep Talking, Good Die Young. my band, of course, Get Up. One of the best rap albums ever. It's right beside Sheryl Crow. Dave Matthews Band. I heard Crush, Crash Into Me, and this is one of those bands I got this CD as a gift as a young child. I guess 10 or 11, living at home, and my parents bought this for me. Not a perfect record at all. I've listened to this whole thing and it's not great, but I keep it for nostalgia purposes. Crash Into Me is great, and everybody else likes Trippin' Billies. I don't like that song, but I keep this in my collection because it's Dave Matthews. It was some of my early introduction to that alternative music. Got my introduction. One of my early metal releases, I got into System of a Down, Drowning Pool, and Disturbed around the same time. I know this was getting traded around, like the Drowning Pool album was getting traded around. This is still pretty good. It's not the greatest heavy metal in the world, but man, it still holds up. Still holds up, I think, and I still listen to Disturbed pretty good bit. We're going back to the rap sphere, and this is a pretty hot take too. This is my favorite Eminem record, Encore. Story about this one, really quick. Had a crush on a girl when I was, 20, and we listened to this in my car all the time while she was not into me and I was into her. So it was pretty, this is pretty darn good. Takes me back to bagging groceries back in the early 2000s, Okay, now we got a collection. We got a collection now. Small collection. Eve 6. We got Horoscope and It's All in Your Head. The interesting thing is I got the first Eve 6 record. Wasn't a big fan, but I kept buying them, or I got this one as a gift. This one had On the Roof Again, Here's to the Night, and that was about it. Promise. But I knew there was something special about these guys, and then I really just fell in love. This is a perfect record, and let me tell you guys, Without You Here, At Least We're Dreaming. At Least We're Dreaming is another one of those songs that just makes me believe in my heart of hearts. Eve 6 is one of the greatest rock groups of all time. Not kidding, man. You guys didn't buy this one. You guys let Eve 6 kind of fall apart there for a while. And I'm very angry with you guys, very upset. Now we've got a pretty big chunk to go through here. We got to start here, and then we've got to go all the way to here to this stupid digipack that's in here. Then we'll get to the Faculty soundtrack. This used to be my favorite group of all time ever, and it my love affair started with the Afterglow. Heard these sad songs, had to go back and get World of Noise, Sparkle and Fade, and if you've only heard like the singles from Everclear, I think you need to dive into their catalog. They will surprise you. They have some heavy stuff, particularly on these early records. Those two are really hard rock records. And then, as they progressed, they did this really poppy record. And then this one, they got pretty heavy again. And then this one, they kind of blended elements of hard and soft. And then they fell apart and started hating each other. 10 years gone. 10 years wasted. What a negative greatest hits title. And they didn't even put it together that good. It's like 21 tracks, and they're kind of out of order and kind of lame. I did not get Everclear's 2005 Drama Club in here because it's trash. I hate it. But the new version of Everclear managed a redemption with Invisible Stars. I kind of didn't like them going heavier on Black is the New Black, but Invisible Stars has a a really great song called Wishing, and I think you need to listen to that. But that whole album is pretty good. Check that one out. Invisible Stars. They do have some new stuff coming out soon. So pretty excited about that. Have I shown you guys any soundtracks yet? Maybe that Buffy the Vampire Slayer. The Faculty. One of my favorite movies growing up as a teenager. Really great. Had a lot of Creed, The Offspring, Soul Asylum, Garbage, Stabbing Westward, Sheryl Crow, Sean Mullins. Some great Pink Floyd covers. Check that one out. Pretty darn poopin' good. We got another stack to show you. We got the Flogging Molly. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Flogging Mollies. These were gifts. I think I got these as birthday presents back in the day. I want to talk about this one in particular. This one has a song called Whistles the Wind. It is one of the saddest songs ever and one of the greatest songs ever. Float has a very cool Johnny Cash tribute in Between a Man and a Woman. Highly suggest that. It was written in 2006 or 7, and one of the best songs I've ever heard written about Johnny Cash. Take my soul! Wait, heal my soul! Yeah, it is powerful. Let's get into some Foo Fighters news, people. I have a small Foo Fighters collection. I've got that one, which is one of my favorites, and then the new one, Medicine at Midnight. I originally did not like Color and Shape a whole lot, but it's grown on me. In Your Honor is where I feel like Foo Fighters transcended their alternative rock roots. And then Medicine at Midnight, you know, is the final album with Taylor Hawkins on drums, and it's a pretty darn fun record. I would say out of these, I like In Your Honor the best, but new Foo Fighters, way better than old Foo Fighters. You know what I'm saying? And I got the one and only Foxborough Hot Tubs album. I did originally have this on, I downloaded this album where you got a different song than Broadway, and that was pretty cool. But this next album is Four in the Strange Band. This band came out of nowhere, smacked the music world sideways. We didn't know what was coming. This is Coleman Williams and his Strange Band. And this is a perfect record from 2022. I ordered this. He packaged it himself personally and is a really great guy. Really glad to have met him a couple of times. And this is just a great record. This is just an absolute great record. Four in the Strange Band. I suggest Southern Despair, Stand Your Ground as highlights.